I think social media is sort of an endless topic, especially in today's world. It is extremely relevant. So, welcome Anusha, welcome Mrudula. If we can quickly give one-liners about your business, I will then go on to our today's topic. Anusha,
Hi, I'm Anusha. I run a company called Insta with Anusha. We create social media content for our clients, and whatever you say is, what we live and breathe. So that's about it for me now.
super. Mrudula,
Hi Raksha. Hi everyone. This is Mrudula, co-founder of Paper Play, and we specialize in content creation based on storytelling for any brand that comes to us.
super. So, girls, topic for today about content creation. I think somewhere people or business owners start their pages. There is a lot of, my competitor has done this, or I need to be there. There's some amount of motivation. I think normally the way I've heard or spoken to people is the first 2 weeks is all great. They know what to do, and there's a lot of content ideas. And then that's when it sort of starts to taper down, and there is a big issue with content creation itself. As agency owners, I know you guys specifically specialize in this area, but for someone who's starting out, what is your take on content creation, and how do you go about advising people who come to you with that problem? Anusha?
I would say before execution, planning plays a major role. You don't need a hi-fi content creation planner. Use your Excel sheet, use Google Sheets, put down days of a month. Like you said, there's a 2 week itch because the excitement dulls down and the workload actually looks like a chore. So put a list of
Yeah.
things, make a list of what you want to create, what to, ideas we'll discuss next. But initially, let me just talk about make a list of things that you want to create, and also maybe if you know what you're going to create, maybe you can give it to like every weekend you can have 2 hours allotted to it. So unless otherwise, what happens is every day you're thinking, oh, what should I post today? Oh, what should I post today? And that becomes a daily headache. If in the
Yeah.
weekend, if every Saturday, if I keep 2 3 hours, to do Monday to Sunday, and I'm done, so I don't have to think too much about it the rest of the week, which kind of also takes out the the 2 week itch for me. So I'm not thinking about it 24/7, and then because the thinking of it, after a point in time you're out of ideas. After a point of time, it becomes like a headache, and then that's when the dreading starts. That's when I'm not posting today. It's okay. Then tomorrow, then day after, then you forget to post. Then it becomes a
Yes.
month, and you're like, oh, I started this. So planning is something I would say has to be the first in the list for me.
True, absolutely. So this is one of my favorite topic, content creation, because that's what we do at Paper Play. So first thing, I would definitely agree with Anusha. Planning, planning, planning over execution. So once you plan, and then it's like that to execute. I'm also writing sort of a person than on Excel. Like if I'm so this is I'm talking from, let's say, if I start a business today, I would at least start off with a book and a pen, days and dates, what to post, and what to post again. I think we might get into it sooner, but I also feel that we need to first start with planning of what we exactly want to do, what is our business, what is our USP, who are we targeting to, and what is our end goal. If these four are clear, I think it's easier to start create content.
Correct. I think somewhere there is also this firefighting that happens. Like, for example, it's a festival, and that morning you're thinking, oh my God, how can I put a brand twist to my content today? And somewhere you end up going on very popular template driven apps, creating a poster that's very generic and posting, and then you miss out on that one day's opportunity of not being able to communicate. So I think, like, you girls nailed it. Like, I think planning sort of helps everybody because you're preempting a particular day. You're able to narrow down what you want to post. Now, having said that, is it easy to generate content? Because now, say, let's take a product company that has only about 6 or 8 variants. Now, shooting the product from top to bottom, side, left to right to left, zooming in, zooming out of 6 products. Now, how does someone think about this? and actually build for a basic start. Like, I know agencies like you guys will help out in churning out very meaningful content, but if it is a startup, it is someone who's doing a home based business, what is the advice you would give them in terms of thinking on building content?
Okay. Here I would like to say that way you described the photo shoot being done, front angle, back angle, top angle, this seems like an Amazon photo shoot, something you put on Amazon and you forget it. It doesn't feel like a social media photo shoot, but this is a mistake that you rightly said. A lot of people do, they just put photos of their product from this angle, from that angle. This is not the one component of social media we are always forgetting, it is social. We have to interact with people. If you're not social on social media, the whole purpose is kind of lost. So we're looking at how your user would use it is how I would ask you to film it. So depending on what the product is, either you have the budget to hire UGC content creators, user generated content creators, or you just find out day-to-day ways of how it is used. And if it's an industrial product like a generator or something like that, which use case is not going to be very high, you can't take user generated content. You take content of how much efficient it is, about how much money it has saved, those lines. So basically, it is still the user experience. You're trying to make it a little bit more social, a little bit more, and so just putting a poster of this is my generator, XYZ features, done. So you can't repeat it over and over again. So I would say salesy content is 20%. How your user should experience it, how your potential audience should experience it, has to be 80%, is what I would say, because social media is like Google reviews, as like Amazon reviews. It is a way to gain trust, and they don't want to see the same specification over and over again.
Got it.
That's the one thing that you really quite nailed it was you need to be social on social media. I think each and every business owner should maybe, write it on, your white sheet, 32 font, red, bold, and just paste it. Uh, Totally agreed if they do not want to come onto the camera, but I really feel that their page needs to showcase the behavior of the brand, like how your personal profiles are, like you choose to put up certain certain parts or certain day part of the day of your life, and it's so social for the friends, for your friends and everybody. I think the brand also must be treated as a person, and then what the brand would do should be social enough. So here, to answer to Raksha's question, like what to generate, or the how to generate content, I think the first thing is just think of why you started it. You'll have so many points, and then each of it can be your content. And then what exactly your product or service does, again you'll have many points. And maybe the third point can be a little bit of fun angle, where you mentioned in our previous episode about the VRL, the way they sort of come onto screens and create content. I think that fun content, again, representing the behavior of the brand, can come out.
Right, right. I think even we've heard a lot about content buckets, and if a little bit of research is done, each brand can sit down and say, in as part of their brand ecosystem, what is educational, what is some fun content, what is the sales push that one can do. If they can sort of, I think, sit down, like Anusha said, dedicating that few hours, either to, like, one to plan, one to shoot, and then execute on it, there is nothing like it. And I think always a clear mind helps you to lay out a plan better, rather than waking up that day and say, oh, I got to post today. Right.
True, very true.
So, having said that, again, I see that whenever we open Instagram, there are these trends, and there is something that comes in, it catches on, and then every brand is doing it. There, it can only go two ways, according to me. One is that, okay, so I don't know, somewhere I'm not in the acceptance zone. I'm always irritated with it, saying, oh my god, yet another reel on the same trend. I don't know if you girls have seen that, where someone keeps a leg and someone, trips over the leg, falls, and says, hey, this some.
Swipe the card.
Yeah. And I got irritated because every brand is doing it. So, what is your take on, sort of trend related content? Should people do it? Should they not do it? What is your take?
I would say it actually depends on the individual who is representing the brand. Every brand has a person or a team showcasing it, and if they can pull it off in a actual fun way and make it engaging, not just blindly following it for the sake of following, everyone's doing it, I'll do it too. But if you can actually execute it in a way that is fun, that is creative, that you have your own product twist to it. Now, this trend that you mentioned where someone, trips and falls and swipes their card, that started with the food industry. But I have seen people do it for random things and everyone follows the same pattern. But a very few of them made it very, very, creative. There was one with the pet industry where they swiped and they gave, like, they handed over a dog to them and they, had a dog to walk suddenly, and they were a little puzzled. So it got a little creative. But if you can add your twist to it, honestly, if you can do it quickly, because within a week or two, the trend will die down. So it depends on how fast your idea, creativity, and execution is. If you can monetize on it, fine. Is it necessary? No. Is it necessary for a brand that you need to follow a trend? No. But
Yeah.
you can do it if you genuinely feel you can churn it out within the stipulated time period, is what I would say.
Correct, but having said that, Anusha, what I feel is, in fact, not every brand or every company can pull off any trend. In fact, so it's not 100% thing where you can even either just follow it or even give your own tweak to it. No, I don't think even few brands can even do that. So I don't think trends are for everyone. Yes, you can, sort of copy them, tweak them, and maybe give it your own twist. But having said that, if I'm an ABC company, I can do that. I'm a Z company. No, I'm sorry, I cannot. Like, it doesn't just vibe with my company policy, or not policy, I'm sorry, my company's branding, that's all. So it just doesn't fit there, so I would not go ahead and do. Maybe let's say, let's say Tata Group, or their, I think Tanishq is their brand, right? One of their brand. Now, do you think Tanishq can actually do this? No, it doesn't just fit into their brand. So I think it depends on each brand and their branding.
So I think it's a culmination of so many things. Like Anusha said, that is the personality like that, or is it the branding defined like that? So, like Mrudula said, it doesn't fit into the branding of somebody. So I think it's finally the play of so many things that decides whether that whole trend is even working.
Correct.
But also, I think, like Anusha said, it could be that one can tweak it a little bit to fit their brand tonality. So I think finally it's the owner who has to take a call whether that actually fits into their narrative,
Correct.
right? So when you, yeah, Anusha, sorry, you were saying something.
No, no, no. I was just saying it also depends on the target audience. If your audience, if your age group of your audience, the seriousness or the casualness of your audience are, does your audience actually enjoy dark humor or twisted humor, or, would they enjoy clumsy humor? Like, falling down is a clumsy humor play. So
Yeah.
would they enjoy it or would they get irritated with it? So knowing your target audience and doing that research is very, very important as well. Apart from knowing your brand tonality.
Got it.
Correct.
So normally, like quickly, if we can finish this by talking about your process. Anusha, when you talk to your clients, what is the process normally that you do when you're planning your content? Like what is your process?
Okay. I always work 1 month in advance and we reverse engineer content. So it's August right now. So we usually begin with a September calendar. So we'll have an entire calendar done. We'll create a dummy calendar. We'll have a slide for, say, special days and occasions, and we have a meeting with our client, mostly on Zoom, where we decide that these days these topics are important for them. Maybe they have a launch coming up. Maybe they have a webinar coming up. Maybe they have a festival that they celebrate. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, okay. So maybe they have a festival that they celebrate. Maybe there's some days that are important to them, their brand. Maybe it's their 1 year anniversary. Maybe it's not. So we understand the important days. And then we go back to the drawing board. And once we have this basic idea about what is that they want to highlight that month, what are the products they want to talk about more? Are they running an offer? So getting all those details, we reverse back and we then find out, in those topics, what are the highest performing reels, carousels, whatever in those topics. So we have a topic given by our client. Then we find out what is the most trending topic. Then we take the heading of the topic and then we come up with our own ideas about it. It's like if a topic is assuming for an author. my client is an author for women empowerment books. Now she has a book about self-sustaining habits. So now I Google about self-improvement, Indian women, Indian moms, etc. I start Googling, and when I find the top topics, then I give scripts to my clients with her own words, her own ideas, but the heading will be the same because this is the most searched topic. So I try to keep it on the lines of it. We have to match the search, but the value and the content has to be my clients. So we reverse engineer the entire content calendar. Then we get the scripts done. Few things we ask her to record B rolls. We give her a list of things to record, like because it's 1 month in advance. She has 1 or 2 weeks to record and give it to us. So going backwards, then we have 1 or 2 weeks to edit it. Then when time comes, it's uploaded on a drive where we both can share and whatever changes are there can be done. So we like to reverse engineer it that way.
Got it. Got it. Mridula?
So yeah, pretty much the same in terms of planning and execution. But here, like the process per se for each client, what we would do is first sit down with the client, understand, and get the story out of them, so that the content buckets and the calendar becomes easier and much more entertaining for the audience and much more educative for the audience. So we first sit down with the branding, and the story session happens. And post that, we put our content buckets and the dates, very similar to what Anusha mentioned. And then we come up with references, or we do our own trends and styles as well. So once the client approves of everything, we go ahead, we shoot, product reshoot, or if it's a service based industry, we sort of do it on our own, in our own laptops, and then we send it for approval. And then once it's approved, everything is auto posted.
Got it. Pretty much, I think, based on what you girls have said, it's planning and, sort of advanced planning that will help, and sort of really chalking down, listing down the content, preparing for the following month, making sure everything is done is the way to go about it. So thank you so much. I think you guys are experts in it. Insta with Anusha and Paper Play have done this for a long time. So for people who are interested to sort of offload this work to agencies, I think you guys are the experts and you can help brands. But this podcast is targeted to people and entrepreneurs who have home run businesses, who are just starting out. So I think it'll be great. We have a lot more conversations lined up. So thank you so much for spending your evening with us.
Thank you, Raksha.
Thank you for having me, Raksha. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.